Okay, so if you are given a prescription that asks you to prepare an emulsion, or you are given a prescription that specifically that specified the active ingredient would be an oil, you should directly know that you are expected to prepare an emulsion if the preparation is for internal use. So first step is that for you to determine which type of emulsion to be prepared. So it depends on the application, whether internal or external. If it's for internal, then directly you should know that the product should be oil and water emulsion. And you have to also check the type of oil to be used. Is it a type of fixed oil or a volatile oil, okay, or a mineral oil or an oleoresin? So the different type of oil will influence the method to prepare the emulsion. The second step is to choose suitable emulsifying agent. The internal emulsion should use emulsifying agents that are non-toxic, easy to use, and no apparent taste. So usually, we would use acacia, sodium alginate, or methylcellulose for internal use. But for the purpose of this course, FAR 122, the emulsifying agent that you should use for the preparation of emulsion is acacia. Okay. Choose the technique, whether handmade or machine-made. For small volume or small quantity, so we would prefer the handmade method. So I would discuss with you, I would explain to you the preparation of emulsion, the liquid emulsion by the acacia method. So the preparation of emulsion by acacia begins by preparing the primary emulsion. The primary emulsion can be prepared through either dry gum method or wet gum method. So as we have discussed in the practical, in the tutorial, there are slight difference in the method between dry gum method or wet gum method. So dry gum method usually gives better results. Usually, okay, it will give better results, but it depends on your method. If your method is okay, both dry gum and wet gum will give much or more or less similar product. However, wet gum is more suitable for viscous oils such as oleoresin. Okay, for oils such as oleoresin, so you have to use wet gum. But for the other type of oil, you are free to choose between dry gum or wet gum. A stable acacia emulsion in general should contain 20% of oil. So if the prescription or the formulation given to you needs a lower concentration of oil, as an example, the prescription just asks for 2% of oil. So you have to add fixed oil until it made up to 20%. So the fixed oil that you can choose can be any type of fixed oil. As an example, castor oil or olive oil. Okay, so to make the concentration of the oil in the preparation at least 20%. The amount of each ingredient needed to prepare the primary emulsion is given through the oil-water acacia ratio. So this is special for acacia emulsion, in which you would have to use a specific ratio between oil, water, and acacia in the preparation of the primary emulsion. So if you are using fixed oil, as an example, olive oil, cod liver oil, fish oil, castor oil, okay, palm oil, okay, these are example of fixed oil. So the ratio should be 4 to 1, okay, 4 ml of oil, 2 ml of water, and 1 gram of acacia. So 4 to 1. So if you are using 20 ml of oil, so the water should be 10 ml and acacia should be 5 gram. Okay. Mineral oils such as liquid paraffin, the ratio would be different, 3 to 1. Volatile oils such as peppermint oil, the ratio would be 2 to 1, and oleoresin, it would be 1 to 1. So the ratio would differ depending on the type of oil. So this table is fixed, okay, and hence you have to remember the different ratios for the different type of oil. So in producing an emulsion, energy is necessary in order to break the oil into small globules and for it to be dispersed throughout the aqueous phase. So the energy that we put in has to be strong, and we have to prepare it in a fast manner. So failure could happen due to, okay, so under what condition that you will fail to get your emulsion? Number 1, inaccurate measurement of oil water acacia. You have to measure the ingredient for the primary emulsion accurately, okay, because this will influence the emulsion that you will produce. Contamination of oil with water or vice versa due to measuring oil in wet measuring cylinder. So as an example, the method to prepare dry gum emulsion is by first placing the acacia in the mortar and adding oil, okay, into the acacia. So if you are using a wet mortar, the presence of oil, the presence of water in this first step will disturb, okay, the formation of the emulsion later on. Use of a mortar that is too small will also lead to failure. Okay, you have to have a sufficiently big, okay, a big enough mortar to prepare the emulsion, and long delay between mixing of the oil and gum with adding water. So this is for dry gum method. So if you add already the gum and oil, you have to add the water immediately. If you leave the mixture of oil and gum for a long period of time, this will lead to failure in the formation of the emulsion. So I give you a few examples. Yeah, for this first example, you have to see number 1, which type of emulsion to put to make. So this will be oil in water. As you can see, the QSAD is the water. So the oil in water emulsion. And then you have to check the percent of the oil in the preparation. So 50 ml oil, okay, in 200 ml of water. So the percent would be 25%. So you know that the percentage of oil is okay. You have to choose the OWA ratio, which is 4:1. So 50 ml of oil, 25 ml of water, and 12.5 gram of acacia. So this lead to the steps in approaching the question. So number 1, you have to identify the dosage form. So of course, it's an emulsion. So the percentage of internal phase, it should be between 20 to 60. So as you see just now, the percentage is okay. Okay, it's 25%. The emulsifying agent would be acacia because it's for handmade, and the OWA ratio based on the table, it should be 4:1. So that in this prescription, the acacia is given as QS. It means that you have to calculate yourself, okay, according to the ratio of 4:1 to determine the amount of acacia that will be needed. So here the acacia that should be used in the preparation is 12.5 gram. Okay, so this is how you approach this question. Next is calciferol solution. So calciferol solution here, calciferol is a type of vitamin. Okay, it's a vitamin D. So as you know, the vitamin A, D, E, K are fat soluble vitamins. So if you are given the name of the vitamin, as an example, vitamin E as tocopherol, if the prescription wrote as tocopherol, you should directly know that it's an oil soluble vitamin, and you have to formulate that into an emulsion. So in this case, is calciferol is a vitamin D. Okay, the amount is 1.5 ml in 50 ml. So the percentage of oil is just 3%. So as this is not enough, you have to add a fixed oil. As an example, arachis oil or castor oil or even olive oil, okay, to make it until 20%. So thus, you have to add about 17% at least of arachis oil. Okay. So the formula would be calciferol, arachis oil, glycerin, okay, acacia and water. So the OWA ratio would be 4:1 because calciferol and all vitamins are considered as fixed oil, and you are adding arachis oil, which is also fixed oil. So you can add up the two, and the volume would be 10 ml of oil, 5 ml of water, and 2.5 gram of acacia. Okay, the next example, if you are using a different type of oil, okay, as an example, you are asked to prepare an emulsion with peppermint oil. The peppermint oil here is only 1%, so you have to add a fixed oil until at least 20%. So you have to add, let's say you add an arachis oil, okay, the arachis oil should be 19%. So in order to calculate the OWA ratio, you have to calculate separately for arachis oil and for peppermint oil. Because for peppermint oil, the ratio would be 2:1, okay, because it's a volatile oil. But for the arachis oil, as it is a fixed oil, you would use the ratio 4:1. So you have to calculate them separately and add up the quantity or the amount of acacia that is needed.